This is the 1922 book At the Café by Errico Malatesta. It is one of the best introductions to anarchism. The book has the structure of a Platonic dialogue, but where Socrates is a worker called Giorgio, who is clearly a Malatesta self-insert. One of my favourite parts of the book is when a magistrate says to Malatesta, "You want to put everything in common. Naturally, you will put even women in common, and thus make a great harem. Isn't this so? Listen, if you want to have a discussion with me, please don't say foolish things and make jokes in bad taste. The question we are dealing with is too serious to interpose vulgar jokes." But I was serious. What would you do with the women? Then so much the worse for you, because it is really strange that you don't understand the absurdity of what you have just said. Put women in common? Why don't you say that we want to put men in common? The only explanation for this idea of yours is that you, through ingrained habit, consider woman as an inferior being, made and placed on this world to serve as a domestic animal and as an instrument of pleasure for the male sex. And so you speak of her as if she were a thing, and imagine that we must assign her the same destiny as we assign to things. But we who consider woman as a human being equal to ourselves, who should enjoy all the rights and all the resources enjoyed by, or that ought to be enjoyed by, the male sex, find the question, "What will you do with the women?" empty of meaning. Ask instead, "What will the women do?" And I will answer that they will do what they want to do. And since they have the same need as men to live in a society, it is certain that they will want to come to agreements with their fellow creatures, men and women, in order to satisfy their needs to the best advantage for themselves and everybody else. For context, in the 19th century, one of the main reactionary talking points was that communists want to put women in common, alongside all other property, and in so doing destroy the family. The reason why I love this passage isn't just because it's a good response to that reactionary talking point, but also because Malatesta breaks down the very assumption of the question, in which women are objects to be shaped by men, and instead affirms that women are people with agency who should have control over their own lives. As always, the source is in the description, and I strongly recommend reading At the Café by Malatesta.